Alright guys, Spider-Man Far From Home swings into theaters this week, so let's see if it was able to be as big a hit as Homecoming. So, let's find out on today's episode of Planetary Reviews. What's up guys, like I said in the intro, Spider-Man Far From Home has finally come out. I've been so pumped for this movie, so excited for it to come out, but it's always tough being the movie after the big one, after the big event. Same thing happened with Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's always tough being the one after an Avengers movie. It's really hard to top it, so I really don't envy anyone who's involved in one of those movies. But does this movie manage to be something exciting and fun and amazing as Endgame? It's not as good as Endgame, obviously, but in terms of a Spider-Man movie, this was actually a really fun film to watch. I was happy with it and everything. But before we go into any more detail tonight, let's at least start off with the story. The story to this movie takes place right after all the stuff that happened in Endgame, and we have a distraught Peter Parker who is just really trying to live in a world without Iron Man, who is pretty much like his father figure, and he's trying to figure out what exactly to do. How is he going to live up to someone that big, that amazing? And it feels like the world is just kind of looking at him to take over that role, and it's overwhelming him. After all, the kid's only 16 years old, so how are you supposed to really deal with that at 16? With really, when you're 16 years old, all you really want is just to be a normal kid, enjoy high school, and graduate. And yet he has to deal with this overwhelming stress of not only being the 16-year-old student, coming back from something so huge and catastrophic as the events with Thanos, and now he's got to deal with the fact that people are looking at him to kind of become like the new Iron Man, and he's feeling the pressure. And what this movie deals with is how he's going to live on with this responsibility. And in my opinion, the movie does a really good job with that. But along the way, we meet this mysterious hero named Mysterio. He claims that there is a multiverse, and he is from another multiverse, and came in and said that there are creatures that are coming to attack the Earth, different types of elementals based on fire, water, and all kinds of other elements of the Earth. And it's his job to defeat them. He wants to save the world. And throughout the whole movie, the way they do Mysterio, as we all know as the die-hard Spider-Man fans, we know the inevitable truth of what Mysterio is. I'm not going to go into spoilers for some of you who don't know, but let's just say it wasn't really that hard to predict what was going to happen with Mysterio. But what I really loved with it is that Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job of portraying this character. His performance was excellent. There were only 2 times where he really just kind of fell short a little bit, but throughout the whole movie, he was extremely compelling, especially in the beginning when he was trying to just like show people what was going on and explaining who he was and stuff like that. And his connection with Peter was actually pretty natural with the way he portrayed the character to be, and I really enjoyed that. And also, for some of you diehard Mysterio fans, don't worry, they definitely stay true to Mysterio's way of doing things. Let's just say, again, I'm trying to be very vague and very spoiler-free for those of you who aren't as diehard Spider-Man fans who might not know how exactly Mysterio works. But for those of you who do, trust me, you're gonna like the way they do it, and it's gonna make you smile and be like, holy crap, they really paid attention to that much detail when it comes to how exactly Mysterio works. And it was awesome. I really love the way they did that. Then after that, it's up to Spider-Man and Mysterio to take down these elementals, and along the way, Samuel L. Jackson gets involved, obviously Nick Fury, and he wants to save the world, but he finds out there's not everything true about this whole crazy situation during his vacation in high school. But that's as far as I'm going to go with the story. In terms of action, this is something I really have to talk about, because the way that they portrayed the fight scenes in this movie with the way Mysterio works, it was incredible the way the fight scenes were. The way they portrayed the struggles behind how Peter has to deal with this new type of villain that he's never dealt with before, in my opinion. they portray it beautifully with the way they make him think about what he's gonna do, how he's gonna react, how is he going to overcome this villain, and it's really interesting. They really portray Peter Parker having to grow as a character brilliantly. I loved it. Next thing I want to talk about is the special effects of this movie. Special effects in this movie are insane. Everything. When the elementals start showing up and you see all them just destroying the city and stuff like that, it looks fantastic, guys. I love it. There was never really a moment that made me sit there and go, ew, that didn't look right. Every single moment in this movie looked beautiful, and it was shot great too. There were some really, really awesome shots in this movie, and I really loved that. And then I really got to talk about one of my favorite aspects of this movie was the connection between Peter Parker and MJ. The way Tom Holland and Zendaya have that beautiful chemistry is insane. I love the way they portray their relationship on screen. I love the way they play off each other. It's just a beautifully, like, just overly cute, like, situation that they have themselves, and they have some really adorable moments that I really did love. I was like, wow, this is awesome. I love that. And of course, Ned being his best friend had a lot of awesome moments, a lot of great comedic moments. I thought this movie was hilarious. There were a lot of times where I was laughing a lot because I just love that high school comedy aspect. And that's what this movie really did a good job at doing. It portrayed the high school element even more than what Homecoming did. You had a lot more funny moments, a lot more kid-like humor, I guess you could say, but it fit the part because it's about a bunch of high schoolers going on vacation to Europe with Spider-Man Peter Parker, and then having to do with these super events, and Peter Parker has to come out of vacation and just be like, alright, looks like I gotta be the hero. And the movie does a great job of making him having to struggle with, I want to be a kid, but I also want to be a hero, but I want to enjoy my childhood at the same time. And it's the internal struggle that really makes this movie very relatable to the main character. You truly feel his struggle and how he's trying to balance these two things. And throughout this movie, he matures a lot. By the end, you're going to be extremely happy with his character development. And I think you're all going to love that. Now, in terms of me looking at this movie critically, this movie, as much as I did love it as a Spider-Man fan, I did not walk out of this movie unhappy. I did not walk out of this movie not feeling great, because the two after credit scenes were fantastic, and it really leaves a big question of, whoa, what are they doing next? Holy crap. I was not expecting certain things to happen during those post-credit scenes, and I was like, dude, holy freaking crap, what is going to happen next? So without going into spoilers, you're going to enjoy those two post-credit scenes. But if I'm going to be brutally honest and look at this with a critical eye as a reviewer, it isn't the best MCU movie out there. It isn't my favorite Spider-Man movie out there, but it is still a great film. It is still really fun to watch. It is a great time if you have your kids with you, and if you're a Spider-Man fan like me and you're not looking at this with like a critical eye, you're going to walk out of this extremely happy, and it's going to be an A+ experience. But the things that bring this movie down from a critical perspective is that the story, in my opinion, isn't the greatest thing in the world, because it is very predictable, in my opinion. You're going to walk out of this very like, wow, I called some of these things happening really, really easily. And it doesn't surprise you too much when some of those, like, reveals happen. And the story isn't something that's groundbreaking. It isn't anything amazing. It's just something that is simple, to the point, and you have a villain that is interesting. It's just that the way that they try to do that twist, it's just too noticeable. Maybe it's because in the nature of the villain's character that they were trying to portray, it was just so hard to try to make that not a easy twist. But at the very least, it was still a very fun time. It was just not the best Spider-Man movie in the world. It wasn't my favorite of all time. I still personally think at the end of the day, Homecoming is the better Spider-Man film to me personally, but I still love this movie. Guys, at the end of the day, Spider-Man Far From Home is an action-packed, funny, just intense adventure with just so much fun action scenes, special effects, and just great performances overall that will make you laugh and have a great time. It is just a fun summer blockbuster to go see, as long as you just go in knowing that you're not going to get another Endgame, and you're not going to get like a Spider-Man 2 style Spider-Man movie. You're going to get a fun, great blockbuster to watch this week. So at the end of the day, Spider-Man Far From Home gets a solid B+ for me, guys. Guys, those are my thoughts for Spider-Man Far From Home. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys liked the movie. If you guys saw the movie, let me know what you thought. Did you think it was better than Homecoming? Did you think it was worse than Homecoming? What are your thoughts? Because at the end of the day, for me, like I said, it was still a great Spider-Man movie. I still love this movie. This movie was really fun, and I loved a lot of things about it. But at the end of the day, it didn't wow me. It didn't make me go, wow, this is better than any Spider-Man film I've ever seen. That was just my thoughts on it. But again, guys, I'm hoping you guys are having a great 4th of July with your friends and family. Eat up a bunch of barbecue. Have a good time. And I appreciate all of you guys who are watching this video right now. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And again, happy 4th of July, guys.